3 Ogle County deputies are taken to the hospital after a Wednesday morning standoff in a gated community near Dixon turns into a shootout with the suspect also hospitalized. KSB Hospital in Dixon told WIFR that 5 people were sent to the hospital and 3 people were received. Here's a map of where the shooting took place. It is in the 400 block of Wild Rice Lane, which is located in the Lost Lake gated community in the unincorporated area known as Lost Nation. That's south of Oregon and northeast, in fact, of Dixon. We have several crews at the scene, including WIFR reporter Nathaniel Langley, who joins us live now with the latest developments.
Mike, a call from a concerned family member out here in southern Ogle County ends with 3 deputies and a suspect shot. Ogle County Sheriff Brian Van Vickle says the critical incident started this morning. Around 9 a.m., a Dixon resident reportedly threatened homicide and suicide to loved ones. By noon, a SWAT and an emergency response team arrived because authorities deemed it necessary to enter the home. Sheriff Van Vickle details what went into that recovery effort in his afternoon press conference.
Our hostage negotiators arrived on scene and attempted to make contact, and the first call to his cell phone began at 10:40. In excess of 50 phone calls were made in various forms to the residents, with no answer.
At this point, those 3 deputies are in good condition at a local hospital. The sheriff also adds the suspect is recovering in a local hospital as well and is in stable condition. Reporting from Ogle County, I'm Nathaniel Langley, WIFR.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Illinois State Police will take on an investigation for the officer-involved shooting. Stay with WIFR as we learn the latest in this developing story.